Hi everyone, welcome to Jay's Bonsai. On today's episode, I think we're going to tackle the beast. It's the Japanese maple, but before we can work on it, we got to get it out of here. I'll be right back. That went remarkably smoother than I thought it was going to go. We're going to get onto the pulley here, the cart. We're going to head over to the fire pit, and we're going to see what the root structure looks like on the Acer palmatum. Here we go. I got the big one in place and began my journey with the Japanese maple repot. However, I would find out in editing that the audio was all scratchy and unusable. An hour of footage with little usable sound. No worries, we're moving onward with the big one. A little history on this maple while I work on combing out the roots and really try my best to get rid of as much of that original soil from deep underneath that main trunk line as possible. It's wet from a recent watering, so watch as I make a complete mess out of things. I found this tree at my favorite local nursery in the discount section for $20, it might have been $40, I don't remember, steal of a deal regardless. It was late fall of 2019, and then in March of 2020, in episode 32, I put it into its first box. I'll show you now some of the footage from that time. Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's show, we're going to tackle that. So some of this stuff up top, weird, it feels more like clay than dirt. Gotta be careful. So, I've been cranking at this thing for probably half an hour. Bit of a quagmire. My pot is not big enough. This guy right here is not big enough. If it was twice as deep, I'd put it in here. We'll go like that. And then this comes right up to here on the tree. Absolutely perfect. I don't have to make any cuts except for the length, and we're good to go. Well, I'm hoping I'm going to get some back budding in here. Like this one back bud last year. All last year this one popped up and grew in the nursery. I'm hoping I get more of those throughout the tree up here. Whoa, there it is, the beast. Of course, the big problem with this is I'm not going to be able to lift it by myself. I'm going to have to get my son over here. So, there we go. There's that gnarly bottom of that trunk. We'll be digging more of that out in the next coming 2 years from now. We'll see how much more we can clear out, but for right now, we have got it in there. Later that same year, I needed to make a pot just an inch or two smaller to fit into the cabin cold frame. This was just a slip pot with very little done to the roof. So we're going to lift it up. Remember everybody, measure twice. Yeah, you know the rest. And it fits just in there, ever so snugly. There we go. There we go. All right. Last year, I tried a couple of air layers on the tree to no avail. My next move was to get it into either a pot or a smaller box this year, which leads us back to present day. Is that this tree can probably sit a lot higher in the pot than I originally had thought. We've got some really wild and gnarly thick roots in here. And we've got this nice root out front. There's a root down here and a root down here, but they go too straight down. They're not flaring out this way. So how much of that root work can I do to get that to flare And we want as much of this muck out as possible on this potting, because we want this to be all bonsai soil. So we got to keep plugging away. I think it's time to make our first cut. We're going to cut this one right here. I'm going to make sure I'm not damaging any of these roots. I noticed another bud right here coming out. So we could lose all of these trunks right here, and I'd be pretty happy with that. Okay, so this is a big one. And I only want to cut it once. I think I need my coarser saw. All right, there. I broke through. Got a secondary chunk in there. And look at that. At least 1 inch. There's a little trunk right there. All right, so that's a nice clean cut. We've got some fine feeder roots below that. And more of this muck in here. So now we got a big one right here and a big one over here. Let's start getting rid of those. Okay. Yeah, we have success. We are as low as we need to go for this year. All right. So, we need to build a box that the Anderson flat is going to sit nicely in. I believe they're, is it a 12 by 12? 14 by 14 maybe? Yeah, about 14 by 14 in this case. All right, a little bit damaged on this side, but this will hold this tree in for a couple more years, and we're gonna go with that. We're not gonna do any more to this root structure as far as the big roots. At least I don't think. This is the next big side right over here. But I don't want to cut that much roots off on this big bad boy. We're going to give it a couple more years to recover. So, I'm gonna get my towel all full of water, and we're gonna wrap the roots, and then we're gonna go build ourselves a box. We have the tree in the Anderson flat. Sitting out here. All right, we'll measure the Anderson flat here and we'll go do some construction. Now, I needed to make a new custom box for a better fit, remembering this time to make it fit into the cabin cold frame. I made the box out of some random leftover pieces of lumber that I always seem to have in my garage and was ready to see how the tree was going to fit into the new box. I had a piece of deck boarding left over, perfect to fit in there to settle this pot right there. The lips will catch here for some support, and then if the tree puts pressure on that board, plus it's loose so the water will still probably evaporate or go through the Anderson flat just fine. So, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put a little coarse soil in the bottom. We got a nice layer of coarse soil, and this is just pumice and lava rock right here. Before I put the medium in, I'm going to add a little bit of akadama to the mix because this is one of my trees that I really want to do well, and the maple is going to really like the akadama. The akadama is going to hold more moisture, also has the ability to hold nutrients a little bit better than the pumice and the lava rock, and so we're going to sift a little bit of akadama in the sifter out here in the glorious sunshine. So the akadama has certainly been hard to come by in the last year or so, and with the shipping crisis that happened last year, all the backed up shipping, some of the akadama got stuck over there in Japan. So we're going to go ahead and go for a medium grit. I don't think there's any big in this bag. The last time I sifted this bag, there's very little big stuff. So just a little sifting to get the little stuff out, and then we'll add it to our medium mix. And again, I have more pumice than lava, and now some akadama. And now we're going to see how the tree's going to fit in here. I'm also going to find out what pieces of roots I might want to not continue to have that go up tall. I'm going to leave this one for now. And we'll see if this one down here grabs. This has some live roots on it right there. A tangled root in there. So this was one mess, and I think I got most of the mess taken care of. Okay, what do I think this tree is going to look like here? I don't know that I can pick a front right now because it fits in the Anderson flat really well this way. I might be able to twist it a little bit one way or the other. Right now, this possibility of a front with this main tree coming out here. I got this root that's in our face. If I spin it around that way, I got this root out here, but you'll be able to see this branch is coming out over here. Here's the bud back here. Yeah, so the tree was growing this way with this trifurcation up here. So I think I'm going to be able to have this as the main front right here. Even though this root's in our face right now, we might perform surgery on that one soon, and this one might come off. But it has a decent flare here. All right, that'll help you take a peek at the tree a little bit better, huh? So again, if I have this as the front, you can see that tree branching off this way. Here's the new bud. So they're all grown on the same side of the tree. So we're hoping for some different direction in the future. But that has a little bit of movement this way, then this way, then this way. And if we chop it later on this year, this underneath that growth, if it grows. Plus we have this other bud. Uh-oh, did I knock it off? I think we knocked it off, people. We knocked it off. But because there's buds growing here, I'm sure there's going to be more growing, and we have all the top of the tree. So I think we'll leave it. As that for now. We're just getting it into a new pot. Hopefully we can have some fun growth with this thing this year. All right. Now I debated tying this down, and I probably could have tied it down, but I think I would have marred up all the roots. I could have put some padding on the tie down, but I think this is going to sit so nicely in the Anderson flat, I'm not going to worry about it flying away. It's a big enough tree. We'll have it in a secure place. It'll be inside the cold frame for a while, and then we'll just make sure we take care of this should any storms come up. And what I might be able to do as for extra precaution is to maybe secure the whole pot a little bit. We'll probably put some sphagnum moss on here next. Not today, but we'll get some sphagnum moss going. So again, a layer of sphagnum moss in here will also protect this top layer. But now this tree is sitting a good 2 inches above where it was before. So this will be a fun year to see how it takes off. We got a lot more root structure to see. It looks like a big old gnarly tree now. And again, we have some problems with the root system. This one right here comes over to the top here, and we might be able to get rid of that at some point, but it's growing in there pretty sturdy with this one. It might just have to be a permanent feature. But we have the big one in a pot. Same pot it was in, oddly enough, but we don't have as much thickness around the outside. Now we have about a let me see, 17 by 17 square. It'll still fit through the door. So a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact. All right, just time for some water. Let's see how liftable it is. Pretty heavy, but not too horrible. So I still might consider some approach grafts later this year, so I don't want to make these shorter. This one I cannot bend probably over there without breaking it, so that would have to be a thread graft from right here. So let's go ahead and prune this one right here. We've got this big long section that does not get thinner, it goes way up top, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna at least cut it here. That's a nice split right there though. We'll cut it there and there. We're gonna cut this tip off, that tip off, a couple tips off, all right, so we just cut some tips off. I'm gonna leave all that growth up there just to keep the photosynthesis and all the water, starch, sugars, nutrients, everything going up and down, flowing really well through this tree. So the tree has done really well on top before, and this side branch has really done a good job of surviving. It's real nice and thick with this little one. Little one back here now is a sub branch, so now I could cut this one off in the future and let this be the main branch. It's more off to the side here, and if this grows really nice, that could be the new branch if we like it better. They are very close together, of course, and this shoots really up high, typical for a lot of maples, growing up and then out. The wound in the back here is growing really well since I cut that a few years ago, so that's nice. We just made this cut. Let's make this cut a little bit cleaner. There we go. So there we have it. I think we have to call it a day. I'm tired. Whew, that was a lot of work. Oh, we have a bud right there. Yeah, we have a bud right there. Yeah, this will start pushing out some more buds. It'll be fun to see what happens. We did try an air layer here. It did not work, so we cut this off. This is the main trunk right here with this side branch here. I could cut off all right there. I think later on this year I might be bold enough with this growth right here and a bud right here and possibly a couple more buds growing up here. I might take it down to about here and we'll see what happens. Because this will provide some canopy, and then this will grow some branches eventually if we cut it off. So there we have the big one. The maple has been repotted. Spring of 2022, the day before the official first day of spring. So I'm gonna go tuck this thing back into the cold frame so it doesn't get too much sun and go, whoa, what's going on here? And we don't want any more drying off here. We'll put some sphagnum moss here in a couple of days. Maybe tomorrow I'll get some sphagnum moss on here, but I have another humongous mess and I probably should take care of that. Whew. This is exciting. Stay tuned, everybody. Hey, take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and we'll catch you all very soon. Happy spring, everybody.